What's up, everybody? If you're new and you haven't seen my videos before, my name is Jude Patton. If you aren't new and you've seen my videos, and welcome back. I hope you stay for more. But just basically want to come on here and talk a little bit about something that's been on my heart recently that I think might help you. Now, if you're anything like me, you've obviously had from a young age, you've believed yourself, your life, you wanted something different. You knew that it could be better for yourself. You knew that you could have something, and you just have vision, which is pretty rare, to be honest. And if this is you, then congrats. You know, you have a vision for yourself, which is very, very rare. But I think that thought, that imagination that you have is not on accident. And I think if you choose to deny that, then you're denying what God is showing you could be. If you're anything like me, sometimes you have doubts. It's not easy to destroy those doubts, but something that is true is that every time I have a doubt, I immediately know that I'm getting closer, because the doubts get stronger as you progress. They just do, because things get more difficult. They don't get easier. At the beginning, you are feeling absolutely invincible. That's just how it is at the beginning. You're feeling like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then you start, and then it gets a little difficult. And then whether you have really high expectations, you either quit or you just keep going through all the pain. And that's something that a lot of people, when they start talking about God gave you this idea, or they start talking about some metaphysical ideas, they never speak about work ethic. They never speak about okay, well, what about when it doesn't happen in 3 months, when you're trying to make it work in 3 months, which is so stupid, putting such a time constraint on yourself. What happens when that doesn't happen? Have you set such high expectations, been overly optimistic, to when it happens, you just absolutely crumble and you end up quitting? That's not the way. That is not the way. But what is absolutely true, in my perspective, God is going to reward the focus that you put into the thing that He showed you could have. And when you put focus into it, that shows Him that you have faith in it. Let's say you're a baseball player. Let's use basketball. You want to get to the NBA, right? Are you just going to work every single day, wake up early, do your drills, do whatever you have to do to become a professional basketball player for nothing, because it's not, you don't think it's going to get anywhere? You do that every single day relentlessly, relentless work ethic, because of how much you believe in it for yourself. It doesn't matter. This is why people say follow your heart, right? It doesn't matter if you're an artist. It doesn't matter if you're a musician. Whatever vision you have for yourself, and you choose to put a ton of fuel on that fire, it can grow, and it will reward you. God will reward that. That's ultimate faith in Him. You know that He'll provide. So that detaches you from it completely, because you just know, it'll come. It'll come. I don't need to say in 3 months, I'm going to work every single day like I want it tomorrow. That's how you really do it. I forget which book that's actually from. But that quote alone is game changing. Why put time constraints on myself when I want it tomorrow? Why wouldn't I just work relentlessly like I want it the next day? You know what I mean? But by no means is your vision an accident. It's not an accident at all. I was a younger kid with a vision as well. I don't know if you're in that same place, or maybe you're a little further ahead on your journey, but you're not normal. That's different. You are different in that regard. Not everybody just has a vision when they're 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, wanting so much more for themselves and not stopping at anything until they get it. I don't care how long it takes you. I don't care how many trials you go through, which trials, I mean having that belief, waking up every day, reminding yourself of that belief, finding proof of it everywhere, just spreading good into the world, and it not being shown back to you immediately, because that's obviously going to happen. You're not going to get it absolutely in 3 days or 3 weeks and three months, sometimes even 3 years, and it's very easy for that to discourage you, but you got to keep going, because if you don't keep going, you deny what God showed you that you could be. And if you deny that, then you're not having faith. Especially at a young age, this is the time when you should take risks. This is the time when you should chase after your dreams, chase after your goals. What else is life than to just focus and chase after the thing that you want. Chase after that dream that you have, that vision that you have. And whenever you decide, if you decide to stop chasing it, if you decide that that vision isn't real or God didn't give you that, you deny it. And then you actually fail. Because the only way to fail is to quit. Because if you don't, that's of course like when you do something you love, like genuinely, you're in love with it. You do it every day. And you do it every day with passion and emotion. And then it just keeps making you better and better and better. And you just keep getting better, putting in the reps, getting better. And eventually you've been rewarded for it. Eventually you've made the greatest art piece of all time. And you're like, I don't know, multi-billionaire or something. It's stupid. But you get my point. If you don't believe, because eventually earlier in your life, I'm sure you've transformed yourself many times if you've watched this video. Everybody pretty much has, whether positive or negative. But I'm sure you've had these moments where you see yourself in the future. Like you see that. And if you see yourself negatively in the future, if you see yourself positively in the future, whichever side that you choose to water becomes real. And I'm talking about watering with your emotions, watering with your thoughts on a day-to-day basis, watering with the way that you even interact with people or judge people. Every single one of those interactions or things that happens feeds one of these people. And whichever one gets fed the most, you become. Anybody who's changed positively can attest to this. They just fed that part of themselves. They fed that little spark that was within themselves that they knew was for a reason, and they believed in it. They had so much faith that God gave them that for a reason, and that it was impossible they fail if they just had focus. And that's basically the premise of this video. If you're in this situation right now, maybe you need a little bit of motivation. I'm not just telling you, hey, woo-woo, believe, have faith, because a lot of people miss the mark when they talk about that stuff. They don't mention work ethic. And sometimes the work becomes so automatic, it doesn't even feel like work after you fully believe and have faith in yourself. And I'm talking faith in, like, it shows in your daily actions. It shows in your daily, when you talk to people. It shows whenever you think throughout the day. It shows up everywhere in your emotions, how you feel. And eventually, it will pay off for you if you just focus on it relentlessly. And I'm not just saying to focus, right? I just want you to realize that the visions that you have are not for a reason. We're spiritual people. That's given to you for a reason. And there's no reason you shouldn't believe that. Like, it's not constructive to not believe that. I don't care if you're being like, well, actually, it's like not, how do I know that? Why would you even think like that? Like, it's not even beneficial to think like that. It's not beneficial. It's not constructive to you. It's more constructive to think it's for a reason and that there are good things for you, because then there can be. Because everything around us is not even like, it's literally just I'm in the room I have because my imagination, right? And same for you. Like, you create your world essentially. Of course, God is the creator of all things, but you have the will, the free will to go out and create things. And that's a positive thing. That's a good thing. And so you're the one who created your situations. You're the one who created the version of yourself that you are. And the moment you own up to that, the moment you can change it. But anyways, that's basically it. I hope it helped you, or I gave you a little bit of motivation to feel like, yeah, I can do the work tomorrow or today or whatever, whenever. Yeah, that's about it for me. And that's it. Thanks.